Elven blood, dark cast the night. In realms unseen I hold the light. Soul stripped by, lost and cold. In my hands the story is told. Elven blood, dark cast the night. In realms unseen I hold the light. Soul stripped by, lost and cold. In my hands the story is told. I am the keeper, the one who remains. Through life and death, through pleasure and pain. Metal veins and iron will. In the depths I linger still. An ancient god reborn remain. Bound to shadows unafraid. Rust and echoes, wires and gears. Silent witness through the years. They call my name in the black and dark. Melchiah's reign leaves its mark from the world above. They fall to me through endless realms. I set them free. Keeper of souls, elven dread. My throne forged in shades of red. I am the keeper, the one who remains. Through life and death, through pleasure and pain. Metal veins and iron will. In the depths I linger still. An ancient god reborn remain. Bound to shadows unafraid. Rise from the void and flame. A god reborn, never the same. Electric pulse in rhythm and sound. Bound to the earth, yet unbound. Keeper of shadows, ruler of none. Eternal watch till all are one. From life to death, through endless flight. I hold the souls within my sight. Whispers rise from the bowls below. Ancient echoes in the afterglow. Once a god, now bound by fate. In shadows deep, I lie and wait. Elven blood, dark cast the night. In realms unseen, I hold the light. Soul stripped by, lost and cold. In my hands, the story's told. Elven blood, dark cast the night. In realms unseen, I hold the light. Soul stripped by, lost and cold. In my hands, the story's told. I am the keeper, the one who remains. Through life and death, through pleasure and pain. Metal veins and iron will. In the depths I linger still. An ancient god reborn remain. Bound to shadows unafraid. Rust and echoes, wires and gears. Silent witness through the years. They call my name in the black and dark. Melchiah's reign leaves its mark from the world above. They fall to me through endless realms. I set them free. Keeper of souls, elven dread. My throne forged in shades of red. I am the keeper, the one who remains. Through life and death, through pleasure and pain. Metal veins and iron will. In the depths I linger still. echoes in the afterglow. Once a god, now bound by fate. In shadows deep, I lie and wait. Elven blood, dark cast the night. In realms unseen, I hold the light. Souls slip by, lost and cold. In my hands, the story's told. Elven blood, dark cast the night. In realms unseen, I hold the light. Souls slip by, lost and cold. In my hands, the story's told. I am the keeper, the one who remains. Through life and death, through pleasure and pain. Metal veins and iron will. In the depths I linger still. An ancient god reborn remain. Bound to shadows unafraid. Rust and echoes, wires and gears. Silent witness through the years. They call my name in the black and dark. Now Shire's reign leaves its mark from the world above. They fall to me. Through endless realms I set them free. Keeper of souls, elven dread. My throne forged in shades of red. I am the keeper, the one who remains. Through life and death, through pleasure and pain. Metal veins and iron will. In the depths I linger still. An ancient god reborn remain. Bound to shadows unafraid. Rise from the void and flame. A god reborn, never the same. Electric pulse in rhythm and sound. Bound to the earth, yet unbound. Keeper of shadows, ruler of none. Eternal watch till all are one. From life to death, through endless flight. I hold the souls within my sight.
Oh, hey. I'm here. I'm alive. Mostly. I think I need to reset my... Yeah, I gotta reset this. One sec. Reset position. There we go. Ah, that's better. Hey, Lydia. Welcome to the stream. I seem to have totally forgotten to resub to your channel, so I just did that now. Honestly, I thought I had a couple days left, but apparently not.
Oh shit, here we go again.
So how's everyone doing tonight? Warrior of Darkness. Hey, Gelly, how's it going? Hey, Zombie. Yeah, Lydia's everywhere. But you know what? We all love her for it. It just means that she's very much showing her support to all of her friends and fellow streamers. What can I say? All right. Ooh. Well, as long as it's just a little headache. Okay, let's get Final Fantasy started up here. You know, it was hot here the other day. But today we've been getting thunderstorms. and it's been relatively chill. Like earlier today, it was about 22, which was okay. And then it tanked and we just got dumped on. See, Lydia, that wouldn't be so bad if you didn't live in such a high humidity place. Like if the humidity wasn't as high as it is in Toronto, that would be so much more tolerable. How are you not dead? You know, Gally, that is a very valid question. Keep in mind as well, where Lydia is located, the humidity there is going to probably be somewhere, you know, between 60 and 90%, depending on the day. Also, for everyone here, I want to throw this out there, because I know I've mentioned this before, but we have a couple people that weren't here for that last announcement. In Discord, under the Stories by Mel, I do have a new story uploaded. If you do not have Microsoft Word, OpenOffice will open the file. It's a .doc file. I welcome feedback on this. Part of the reason why is because I am starting to storyboard and write out a completely original story that has nothing to do with Mel. And I want feedback. I want to know what people think about what I've done, how I've done it, and I'll see if I can tighten up my writing style. Because I actually want to finally actually make good on something that I've always wanted to do, and that is actually write a full-length story. So, yeah, it would mean a lot to me. Oh, that's a good thing that Google Docs does it. Actually, I'm not surprised. Google Docs will read DocX, and it will also read ODT files, apparently. Because I've got a bunch of ODT files on Google Docs, and it'll open those. Go Google. Let me guess. Nicholas von Nitches? Or Nitches McNitchface? Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm obviously not going to say that out loud because I know what it is, but I'm not going to share. All right, just gonna pop into game with Mel here. Wait for that to load up. Yeah, so you see, unlike a lot of other VTubers and one, I don't have artistic skill. I can't draw for shit. Oh, okay. You know what? No, I'm gonna walk that back. I used to be able to draw. I can't anymore. I've lost the ability because I haven't used it in over 20 years. God, even longer than that. It's been almost 30. Don't get me to sing. You will regret it. But I can write a story. I can do story analysis. I can find story theming, and I can write. So, you know what's funny, Gally? From my experience with you, you may not be able to picture things, but you can come up with some pretty fucking amazing stories too. Hi, Cat. Ellie decided to come in and visit. Hi, Ellie. Lydia can only dress to... Okay, so Lydia, your stick figures and the story tangents you have are fucking amazing. Do not downplay your stick figure drawing ability and your storytelling. Yeah. By the way, anyone who's not familiar with Lydia, if you want epic chicken scratch story time, follow Lydia and watch her streams. Speaking of, one of these days, I need to pop into one of your streams on one of my days off, and do a bunch of Draw Me redeems, because your Draw Me redeems are amazing. And I'm kind of sitting on a couple 100,000 points. All right. Hold on, let me actually get my game capture up here, because like an idiot, I totally forgot this. Got everything else set up. You know, one of these days I'm going to actually have a 100 or 150,000 point redeem. And it will be Write Me a Story. Did you just chirp at me, kitty? Did you guys hear that? Ellie just chirped at me. You are so adorable, kitty. You're dumb, but you're adorable. The smart one is nowhere to be found right now, and that's probably for the best. All right. And Lydia, I thank you for calling me kind. And I'm going to say this because this is pretty much the truth of the matter and how I see things. I tend to be wholesome towards wholesome people. I tend to be kind towards kind people. Mainly because, well, you know that I'm older than you. Gally and Nitchies know how old I am, and honestly, at this point in time, I just don't have time or patience for pretense and bullshit. If you're a nice person, I'll be nice to you. If you're a wholesome person, I'm going to be wholesome to you. Oh, yeah, you're... See, here's the thing is, you're just sarcastic, and therefore I am sarcastic to you in return, but you're definitely not toxic. Do I still have a Blockbuster card? No. But I think I may be able to dig up an old Rogers video card somewhere. You know, Gally, I'm going to point out the irony of that. Worked for Rogers Video. And now, I shall go no further. If you're wondering, Lydia, Gally and I were coworkers. We work for the same company, and that's actually how I've known her. We actually used to both work together in the Vancouver offices, and now I'm in Calgary, and Gally is elsewhere. There were days when doing the job that I do now where I would just get so fed up having to wait for people to respond to me. I would take the elevator from the floor I worked on, go all the way down to the floor Gally worked on, come out, walk over to Gally and be like, hey, help. You solve far less of my problems now than you used to, though. Now we just use each other as punching bags to rant about people doing dumb shit. I think Gally would actually enjoy that. I know I would. Krog is still dying. Well, it depends. If you're asking me directly or are you asking Mel? Because if you read the story, you'll have the answer to that question. So, interestingly enough, I actually knew a guy who had a family and they lived in a lighthouse in the Pacific Northwest. Very, very remote area. The only way to get there is by boat. And obviously they had to maintain contact with the Coast Guard. So if they saw something suspicious or whatnot going on, they'd have to contact them. They saw so many drug cartel boats. It wasn't even funny. It was actually at one point to the point where it was almost too dangerous for the guy to have his family there with him. So depending on where you're located, might not be the best career choice. Yeah, they're out here. There's Gilly. So the thing I actually miss about playing with my Dragon Girl character is she actually has the antecedents attire. I miss that outfit. Yeah, it's not dyeable, and I have an issue with that. But I actually don't mind the antecedents attire. For the longest time, it was my crafting outfit. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the hairstyle too. Oh yeah, the I like the crafting outfit that looks like the Magitech gear. Okay, Philanders are stacked regardless. These guys knew about the demonstration. Interesting. I mean, proportionately, yeah, I would say Thylanders probably are more stacked than Row, but Row are just big. I mean, worst case scenario, proportionately speaking, it's the same. It's just Row are bigger. You know, if they didn't have Dragon Girls, I would probably play a bunny. I do like the Vera. See, my problem with Al-Ra is, honestly, only two face types are worth you. Like, their customization options are much more limited. And I only really like two face types, but only one of them really stands out to me. And Mikote, honestly, Mikote just feel too generic.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well.
Okay, so the Midlanders, the fact that they have the old man Midlander face in there is like, I mean, I get why they did that, but it's not even a good old man face.
Ulda, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident.
Like, I don't mind old man faces. Like, if you want to make that kind of a character, great, but they gave a really shit option for it. Yeah, there's only one good male Highlander face.
Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity?
Yeah, you mean the footballs?
Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Uldans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists.
Oh shit.
And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their...
Give me one sec. So, Nichis, I'll send you something real quick here.
It was only a matter of time before the refugees...
Tell me that doesn't remind you of something from
Nor is
Zenless.
it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence.
Check Telegram.
That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Yeah, it looks exactly like one of the best disc series for Astra. Okay, so this name immediately stood out to me. Astra Arachnida. I immediately read that as Astra Arcadia. Okay. Speaking of which, I certainly hope he gets let go of from Niji Sanji. If he hasn't already. So, there's been, as to be expected, there's been more drama about Kurosanji of all businesses. Shocking nobody. But in particular, there was some issues with an individual by the name of Twisty. Actually, Lydia did some coverage on that, and worth watching, by the way, if you haven't seen it. Definitely go watch it. It's on her YouTube channel. But despite how horrible a person as Twisty may come off as, she exposes another individual by the name of Aster Arcadia, who is basically, for all intents and purposes, a sex pest. Now, I'm saying I hope they get rid of him because he's not part of one of their major upcoming events. He's not on the roster. And they've been delaying certain streams of his indefinitely, so it's hard to say what's going to happen there. What's what, a sex pest? What do you think? Yeah. Harasses them in some very, well, yeah. No, Zombie's different. See, if you tell Zombie no, or you tell him to dial it down, he will. But he also tests to see if it's okay or not. If you, yeah, and that's a big difference. No, this particular individual didn't give a shit about people's boundaries. It's true. Raubon has no resources to do the research or to do the investigation. Yeah, exactly what Galley's saying here is a huge difference. Yes, Zombie is a wholesome deviant. Actually, yes, very much like Vivian. I love Vivian. Vivian's great. Oh, right, it's that fucker again. Okay. Also, I'm glad they give you the ability to by default, to jog in this game. It's just nice to be able to run a bit faster. Soothe. Oh, maybe if I spelt that right. Okay. Time to go find me some refugees to go beat up. What a thing to say. Farm shift, level 52. That's going to be a class quest. Yeah, it might be hardball, but unfortunately I think it'd be overly popular with some people. I think I was using a defensive cooldown. Not that it's really helped him any. Whee! I like my little helicopter airship. That turns into a motorcycle, that turns into a submarine. Okay, I'm using my roulette option for mounts, and yet it's still giving me the same mount. Not that I necessarily mind. It's just funny. Oh yeah, the girl. Yes, you know me. Okay, this isn't so much of a roulette. This is what, 4 in a row now? You know why I'm pursuing you. Not yet. That should be coming up soon. Hopefully I get to that today. You got left high and dry, buddy. But even worse than that, fucking right through him, too. You know, shooting a bow and arrow, I can tell you that would have, from that distance, that would need to be a really fucking powerful bow. There's the Magitech armor. Good old Stompy. Oh, I can unlock the golden saucer. All right. Time to go ahead to speak to the Sultana and see what the hell's going on. Whee! You know, tomorrow I really need to put together a link tree after work. Just to clean up all the links that are in my Discord or that are in my chat message there. Oh, also, anyone who actually has checked out or is checking out my YouTube channel, I finally figured out how to properly manually order videos in for playlists. So I've fixed all my playlists. They are now arranged oldest to newest in proper episode order. Because some of the episodes I ended up uploading late, so they weren't originally in the right order. So I've rearranged them all properly.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Yep, you can go to sleep listening to the dulcet tones of my voice. I pity you.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon armed protesters.
So you're saying I'm on the same tier as League of Legends? That's not any better.
It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
Gee, thanks, Gally.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji. But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
He would do such a thing for leverage, that's why.
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill?
Just here to make me feel great about myself. You know what? If I didn't know you the way I know you, I would have actually potentially believed that, but it's like, yeah, no. This is Gally we're talking about. I know better.
It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
You know, your sass and sarcasm is definitely something. However, I do have to say this though. At least it isn't on apocalyptic levels like Y'shtola's.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield.
That woman has world-ending sarcasm.
The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day.
Good old Cartano Flats. PvP regions.
Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations.
I like how they use this to actually introduce the PvP area for Cartano Flats. and explain why it exists.
In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Alagan ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean Alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domins was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths?
All right. Well, we are actually currently now in ads.
And, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate.
So, since we were in ads, I'm going to take this to step away for a moment. I will be right back. And we will carry on when ads are finished. All right, I am back. So my apologies, by the way, guys, for, the ad breaks, but
Omega.
they do help deal with things like not having to run pre-roll ads, because nothing is more annoying than showing up into a streamer's channel and getting assaulted with ads right away.
Pardon?
An Allagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated.
I like how this is the first time they talk about Omega, and we don't see anything to do with it until much later.
Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartoneau Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When
It's a
first
potent
I
myth.
bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Garleans did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
Honestly, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Nanamo is one of the few potatoes that actually bothers me.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
Tataru, Nanamo, and Pippin. Those are the 3.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Say Tataru from Heaven's Word and onwards. I just realized Alphinaud has an Ahogi. I don't know why I just noticed that. Oh, it's Ellie. Oh, Alphinaud. He knows how to handle kids. Probably because he is one himself. Oh, Alphinaud. Oh, hey, look. The situation in the 12 Woods has kind of gone sideways. Which means, in theory, we get to deal with the beard for miles. The beard for days and days and days and days. You know, I want to do the Eden version of this fight again. Hell, I just want to do Eden again. Eden is fun. Serves you right. The Lord of Levin. And this I know for sure is what Galley's been waiting for. I am so happy that they made these much shorter. Yay! All right, I'll have to go see the Elder Seed Seer and see what she's got to say about dealing with the Primal Ramuh. I really want to get my hands on Form Shift. It'd make my life so much easier, at least for openers on fights. All right, let's go this way. I don't want to deal with that. All right, off to the Lotus stand. Don't shoot desert mice for fun. You know what? That is definitely a useful tip. It kind of sounds like don't create needless vibrations in the sand. Oh shit! You know what game I think would be fun to play on stream at some point?
Scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Emperor
On
Battle for
behalf of
Dune.
the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin.
So, Nitchies, I think that just goes to show you there is no such thing as truly being safe in that game.
Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the Primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other Primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelve's Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided.
Yeah, I mean, the world itself wants to kill you.
Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a Primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations.
Me representing you in these negotiations, probably not your best choice. Just saying. You know, walking up to Ramuh, yo, sup, love the beard, man.
The Twelve's Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples.
Okay.
You have my thanks. Pray make for little solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelve's Wood that flinches at its coming. All the land's Vayorsia shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Oh no! Whatever shall it be that we have to deal with? Yeah, I was thinking about Emperor Battle for Dune. Would be an interesting game to play, I think. Yeah, it's an RTS title. Most of the older Dune games were RTS. And heck, Dune 2000 was pretty fun too. Like, we're talking like classic Command and Conquer style game. Emperor Battle for Dune definitely had a lot more going for it. And Duke Leo Atreides is Michael Dorn. It's Worf. I mean, how could you not want that? Oh, I'm here. Let's summon Chocobro. Let's go, Battle Chicken. I remember having to run through this entire place. Because way back when, you didn't have flying here. It was, not good times. This quest chain used to be so much more annoying. And here's the man himself.
Thine order betrays thee, servant of hiding.
It's Beardy McBeardface!
Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramuh, guardian of the children of the forest.
I mean, let's be honest, this guy is actually more beard than man.
Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs?
I mean, fair, but you get my point.
The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest naught for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Gridanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man.
There's a flaw in your logic. I mean, let's face it, this is the flaw in that logic is condemning the condemnation of all for the actions of one. But knowing what primals actually are, it makes sense that he would think that way.
Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born?
No. Light and dark existed long before that.
It would explain much.
Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges. That they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee.
How quickly you change your tune.
Very well. I shall consider thy proposal, shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment.
Again, the flaws in your logic, they are many. You have more flaws in your logic than my windshield has cracks in it.
Bringer of light, I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Urianger, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramuh, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Yay! Time to fight Ramuh! Ooh. Galley is in Astrobrogen form. God love Astrobrogen. I remember there was a time when you actually had to dismiss your Chocobo before you could actually enter any kind of duty. Hey, Diane. I don't know. Ramuh wasn't bad. Eden Ramuh was a nightmare, but I loved it. Although my favorite Eden fight had to be Garuda. Worst Eden fight, Titan. Yeah, that'll happen here, I think. Alright, let's kill these guys off. Yay, ads! It's the arbiters that people usually end up forgetting. I am glad to see people are actually, on point right now. I forget how to get rid of that. It's been for flipping ever. It has been way too long since I've had to do that with any group, so I don't remember how to deal with those tethers. Oh.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin.
I want to say so much about primals right now, but I can't.
But a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Assyrians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Right, first off, the little Solus. Yay, Magitech armor. Let's go. Hi, Mel. You finally decided to show up. Urianger? Yeah. No, Urianger was there the entire time. He asked specifically if you were okay with him watching, or with him witnessing the entire thing. Alright, back to the Lotus stand. Yay, let's go. Woo. UPS questing at its finest. I'm out. Alright, what am I doing? There's a much easier way to get there. Boop. I mean, to be fair, they don't really say 100% for certain. Like, it's never made entirely clear if that's the case or not. But considering how loud Ramuh is when he speaks, like, he speaks like thunder. His voice booms.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this.
I mean, to be fair, chances are, if you were anywhere in the forest and Ramuh spoke, didn't really matter where you were in that forest, you probably would have heard him speaking. Hi, Mao. Yeah, I know, I see. You are here for ear rubs. That's why you're sitting on my mouse. Because you want me to pay attention to you and not to what I'm doing. I get it. Hi, cat.
I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramuh ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramuh made trial of you?
Oh yeah, no, it's... I mean, in a lot of cases, that would be true with the Echo. But they are usually pretty clear when, you know, you're being spoken to through the Echo.
I fear there is
So there
truth
is
to
that
this
at least.
claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees.
Okay. Again, misfortune doesn't follow man. Again, so many flaws in that logic. Because you're also forgetting that if you want to say misfortune follows man, fortune also follows man. One cannot be without the other. If it is the darkness within the hearts of men that causes rise to, you know, the need to create the primals, it is also the light within the hearts of men that causes them, you know, people to unite. Like, again, one cannot exist without the other.
Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest.
This is what happens when you tar everyone with the same brush. It doesn't work. Yes, I question the Primals. I'm the slayer of Primals. I'm going to question them all I want.
Is our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth.
County Senna, there's something very simple you could do. I happen to know a guy named Thancred. You've met him before. Just saying.
Lord Ramuh has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Yep. Kelly knew where I was going with that one. County Senna is not a lolly. That's the thing. She's very much an adult Midlander. Yeah, she's not 2,000 years old. What? She's a couple hundred years old. Pajal can live a long time. Exactly. That would not stop Thancred in the slightest. And we know as much as he cares for Minfilia, she's more of like a little sister or like a daughter figure to him. He'd never make a move on Minfilia. Therefore, Connie Senna, just saying. And don't you dare suggest Gaia. Those two would never get along.
Let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
I don't mind Gaia. Like, she's not a bad character, but there are other characters I like more. I don't hate her.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus.
In Galley, I agree. I'm not a big fan of Gaia's design. You know what it is that actually gets me with her design more than anything else that I actually don't like? It's the way they designed her lips.
Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
Honestly, I think if they gave her more normal facial features, the rest of the design would fall into place. Like, honestly, like they royally fucked up her mouth in designing her.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
That was like the most obvious thing to me. Like, the moment I saw her, I was like, the hell's wrong with her?
And 'tis my belief
And
that we have found the thread that
don't
will
get me
allow us
wrong,
to unravel the twisted skein of their existence.
what they did with her lips making them super puffy like that would work if the rest of her character design took that into account, but it didn't. Okay, that would explain it.
To Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'ashtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
Wait, she's from Kingdom Hearts?
The disruption
I mean,
to the
I
flow of
believe
ether
it,
was
because her
somewhat
design
impossible.
does look very
So
Kingdom
tangible was
Heartsy.
the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
She looks like she could belong to Organization 13.
The significance of Y'ashtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Levin's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. Let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm.
Yeah, that would make sense. Like, I mean, it's very clear that whoever designed her to be the opposite of Rain.
In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
Like, it wasn't even a contrast. She's like polar opposite.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Like, there are things about her design that I like, but there are things about her design that I don't like. Like I said, I don't hate her, but there are things that I wish that they changed.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
They explain that a little further later on. They get a better understanding of primals much, much later.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
So, about that, Nichies.
Which brings us on to the
In
book.
theory,
The
yes.
so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits, should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
Alright, you know, I'm going to pause here for a moment, because we've got ads incoming, so I'm going to be right back. Alright, I'm back.
It merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a Crystal of Darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
Therein lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady.
Oh, we should be running into Moonbrita soon. This is roughly where she should make her showing.
Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul.
You know, yes, Moonbrita is fucking amazing. And the thing about her that bothers me, especially with how they redid the quests, is you spend so much less time with her.
Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
You know, I like how Uriyoshi talks, but I hate it at the same time. Because he could have said that in half as many words.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
Nabrielis. And Merilolf, we don't run into him. That I can think of. Maybe we do. I don't... I don't think we do. Hey, look, it's Ultima. It's Lahabred himself. Those words of thanks were meant to you above all others. Yeah, you don't say. Mm-hmm. Sid and the Fellowship of Noah. Right, because they're also working on the Crystal Tower. Well, not so much the Crystal Tower anymore. I've already finished all that. Yes. Alphinaud and his ambitions. Ophelia teasing him because he actually remembered a girl's name. Alright, let's go see what Yozan wants. Mr. Boulder and Mr. Coultonnet. Yeah, the Ellison all have very French names. Actually, you'd probably say his name Coultonnet. Coultonnet? Coultonnet? I need to think about that one. Because Alphinaud, his name is spelled Alphinaud. Yeah. Coultonnet. Yeah, makes sense. Oh. Time to beat the ever-loving shit out of Ori Boulder. Well, it's like in Ishgard when we actually have, because we've already been there. We've met with Rochefort. But you look at the way they spell his name. His name is spelled Horchefant, but his name is Rochefort. Who'd have thought French elves? Oh, right. Well, it depends on who you ask, because technically that would actually be Ireland. That would have, if I'm not mistaken, the Celts, Ireland, that was the origin of the elves. But by modern day interpretation of how we look at elves and how they are in fantasy, yeah, France. I mean, my origins, well, my people came through the mists and landed on the Isles. We were Well, we lived on the Isles long before humans did. Were we the only elves? Well, I mean, truth be told, it is neither. It's not confirmed if there were other elves, but interestingly enough, when my people came through the mists, we weren't the only people to come through the mists, or the only beings, if you will. Many, many mythological beings came along with us. And by the fact that other mythological beings emerged throughout the world at roughly the same time, it doesn't really take much to say, hey, maybe, just maybe, there were other elves other places. But there is no confirmation one way or the other. Yeah, I just beat the absolute loving shit out of that guy. That's not the reason they send me to fight the primals. But hey, you know what? Whatever. We'll go with it for now. So, with the things with the writings of the Egyptians, it's interesting that comes up, because you got to also remember that a lot of early cultures all originated from roughly the same point. And the elven people were here long before humans really learned to master fire. So, yeah, again, when you really stop to think about it, you know, could there have been elves in other parts of the world? Absolutely. But keep in mind, we were also a seafaring race. I mean, before I ascended, I was a navigator. Well, I don't think it's a matter of whether or not they knew they were there. I mean, it's think about it more from the point of view of how early cultures looked at deities. A lot of them looked at them as personifications of natural phenomena and natural order, or natural events and natural phenomenon. But they all have similar origins. They all come from roughly the same place. So whether or not, and again, they didn't necessarily have to know anything was there or anyone was there. The same legends and myths are told the world over because humans all came from the same place. Oh, I already did the Crystal Tower, so that's already been done. Now, again, the fact that the elves were a seafaring race definitely complicates things in terms of were there elves from other places. This is why, I take the position of we don't really know. Were there elves that left the Isles and went elsewhere after the fact? Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you about a few of them. I think it really does boil down to how one wants to define it, though. Like, are we talking about elves that can only trace their origins from a place other than the Isles? Or does it matter if they're from the Isles or not? Their lineage is from the Isles or what have you. Because if we're going with the latter, like where we don't care if they came from the Isles or not, then yes, absolutely. There were elves in other parts of the world. That is a given. Now, whether or not other groups of elves came through the mists in other parts of the world when we did, that's the thing we don't know. And I say that because enough elves left the Isles that it muddies the water just to the point of, well, we can only speculate. And yes, of course, you could always make the argument of, oh, but Mel, you're a deity. You should know this stuff. Really? My job and my duty is to maintain the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. You really think I'm gonna actually follow that? No. I don't care where someone's from. If they end up upon my shores in Van Arda, I don't care. They're here, and I'm supposed to, and I'm here to guide them. Yeah, pretty much. As Mel put it, I got too bored with that shit. I mean, when you're doing it for 250,000 years, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. All right, you have a good night, Gally. Mm-hmm. Oh, Alphinaud. Alphinaud. Limsa, off to the Wolver call. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do here? So, I am tired. I did not sleep the best yesterday. Or rather, I slept okay, I just didn't sleep enough. When one's face decides to explode and bleed, right as you're going to bed, you're going to stay up and take care of that shit before you sleep. Was it serious? No. Was it annoying? Fuck yes. Did it keep me up? Yes. So, I am going to actually stop here and carry on with this next Tuesday. There may be a change coming up this after this week to the schedule, just because we have one of the roommates' parents are here, and it kind of puts a little bit of a wrench into the works for timing of certain things. So this Friday is probably going to be until they leave, the last Division 2 collab. Hopefully not. I'll see if I can find a way to make it work. If necessary, I may start a little later. So we'll see. However, if that doesn't pan out, I may start, well, not really start, but continue a game I was playing way back when, until the roommate's parents are gone. And that would be Tales of Xillia 1. Which Diane probably very much remembers Alvin and his eyebrows. All right, so let's do this because we're gonna wrap up. Xillia is fucking amazing. I love that game. Xillia 1 and Xillia 2 are great. There's a lot of people who don't like Xillia 2, and I get why. However, with Xillia 2, once you've beaten the game, you unlock the voice files you unlock the voiceovers for the main character, and it makes the game so much better. Oh yeah, no, Xillia 1 and 2 need to be ported to the PC, 100%. That's actually one of the reasons why I had kind of put it on the back burner, because I know the Tales games are all being remastered, and I don't know if and when Xillia will be, because they've done Tales of Grace's F already, and there's another one coming soon. So if they get Tales of Xillia 1 and Tales of Xillia 2 remastered on PC, I'll just start completely new game playthroughs for both of them, because hell yeah. Absolutely worth it. 100%. Of the newest Tales games, I'm going to say Xillia is my favorite. Xillia 1 and 2. I lump them together, because 2 very much is a direct continuation of 1. It's not even a sequel. It is straight up a continuation. And I mean, yeah, I enjoyed Berseria. I enjoyed Zestria. The next in line, though, would actually, or sorry, not even next in line, but of the next style or the previous style of Tales games, because there are two different styles of Tales game, would be Tales of Vesperia. Tales of Vesperia and Tales of the Abyss. Those two are fucking amazing games. I really want to see them redo Tales of the Abyss. I would play that game so hard. All right, you have a good night, Diane. I will see who it is that we can raid tonight. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled for any potential scheduling changes that are going to come up, because I want to talk to Hina about it and see what's happening. Plus, I want to see what's happening this Friday in terms of timing for things, because my dinner plans are pretty much out of my hands right now, unfortunately, which kind of fucks things up. All right, so thank you guys for coming out tonight. I know, like I said, I'm ending a little early because I am tired and I wanna get a little bit more sleep in tonight. So I will catch up with everybody on Friday for sure. We're still going to Denny's tomorrow, Nichi's, don't worry. Let's see. Who do I want to send the raid over to? It's been ages since I've said hi to Lolia. Ooh, Cyrene's on. I was going to raid her yesterday and she was away when I was looking at it. So let's go say hi to Cyrene. Yeah, I know Hina's playing a Yuri game. I've actually been lurking. Alright, so we're going to pop in. We're going to say hi to Cyrene, and I will see all of you guys on Friday. So thank you all for coming out tonight, and you all have a good night. See you later.